So somebody on Discord said, why don't Yatta and Louis have a snout? A balloon dog? And Yatta looks like a pinata donkey. Qwel replied saying she's actually not a pinata donkey, she is more based on the traditional 7 spike point pinata, which has cultural meaning of breaking free from sin and temptation. Much love to all my fellow Hispanic familia. And here we have a picture of the 7 point spike pinata, which seems to be from the Hispanic tradition. This user said, well, that's a good to know because I drew her as a donkey because I thought she was a donkey. I already gave her a snout. So it seems like people thought that Yatta was a donkey or something. That's interesting. She doesn't look like a donkey, so I don't know why people would get that idea that she was a donkey. Oh, I guess because normally pinatas are in the shape of donkeys. This user said, that's so cool. Do the 7 spikes represent the 7 deadly sins? And Qwel replied, yes, they do, and I learned they are most often used during Christmas celebrations like Las Posadas. I hope I said that correctly. Las Posadas. Qwel went on to say, I'm half Puerto Rican, so I try to educate myself on Hispanic culture best I can, and I'm a very early learner in the language as my Spanish side family spoke English with me growing up. So making Yatta was very lovely for me as I had some time to research more history. That's so interesting to learn more about Qwel. So she's half Puerto Rican. Wow. That's actually really interesting because I had no idea, like, not that it's important, but it's nice to get more personal information about the people that create the game. So knowing that Qwel's half Puerto Rican, that's really interesting. Baby says, that's so sweet. I hope you make more characters based on other cultures in the future. Qwel replied saying, definitely. I always research and try to hold representing characters to the highest respect. I also often feel comfortable keeping in contact with someone born of whatever culture I plan to introduce, so I can have someone to review work. This user says, it's so amazing that you take the time to do that. A lot of people do not understand how sensitive culture and representation is. As while it isn't reality, it does impact the real world due to who is exposed to it. It's so much better to take extra time for research than to risk appropriation like some other games have done in the past by being careless. That's actually really important because some people may not be accustomed to Hispanic culture, and Yatta might be the first time they're introduced to Hispanic culture. So a realistic representation is really important. Because culture, religion, things like that are really sensitive topics. Qwel said, yes, I did want to have Yatta say a line in Spanish, but I thought it'd be safer to wait until we have more official translations in the future before adding any other languages to characters, just so Roblox automatic translations don't possibly miscommunicate anything as they do already with English. Interesting. So in the future, Yatta might be having lines in Spanish, you know, like the role-playing lines that Toons have. So we might get some Spanish lines for Yatta. Winter says, Yatta saying something in Spanish would have been perfect. Yatta is good anyway. Qwel replied saying, maybe in the future, translations are further down the line when we figure out more mechanics through alpha.